Good day. I will be sharing to you the result of our project entitled Examining Online Fact-Checking Programs Perspective of Social Media Users from Mindanao. Along with this project are members, including me, who will be presenting the result of the project. January D. Febro, Mia Amorsi Katindig Dinamisan, Boy B. Palad, and we are all from Mindanao State University Iligan Institute of Technology College of Computer Studies. The short outline of the presentation would include social media and fact-checking programs, our research methods, fact-checking practices and perceptions in fact-checking programs as part of our findings and summary of the result. Social media is an influential platform for Filipinos, considering around 73 million users, and that's around 68% of Filipino as social media users. Along with the increased number of users in social media are the rise of incorrect or manipulated content in the platform which we commonly call fake news. And even government has included provisions on fighting fake news on its cybercrime law. With that, Facebook has created a program on fact checking which aims to prevent false news from spreading in the said platform, which the included three major steps on the program, which number one, remove when content violates Facebook's community standard and ads policies. Reduce, they want to strike a balance between enabling people to have a voice and promoting an authentic environment. And third is to inform, we apply strong warning labels and notification on fact check content so people can see what the third party partners that we have can concluded and decide for themselves what we read, trust, and share. With that, with the assignment of Rappler and Verifiles as the third-party fact-checker of Facebook, we want to investigate the perception of social media users in online fact-checking services. Particularly, we believe that the perception of the users is an important aspect to implement fact-checking effectively. Specifically, we want to examine how users perform the fact check of on the information they encountered on social media. And second is to determine the perceived ease of use, usefulness, and trust in the fact checking programs. The following two approach in the framework. The first one is we determine the process of fact checking by investigating users through interview and focus group discussion. The second aspect is we conducted a survey which determines the ease of use and usefulness using Davis technology acceptance model and also determine the trustworthiness of the information encountered by social media using different fact checking entity. So we initially define perceived ease of use as the degree to which the users believe that a particular system would be free from effort, meaning it's easy to use. Second is the perceived usefulness, that means believe in a particular system that his or her effectiveness on making on the purpose of the task, and perceived trust, which is the behavioral aspects on which one person believes about the characteristics of the source of information. For our methodology, we conducted six focus group discussion, 17 interviews, and collected 685 survey on our result. We the summary of the profile of the respondents on the FGD is around 4 to 5 participants each in each hour FGD, with an average age of 27 years old for our interviews, and majority of them are college graduate. We collected the data from February to October 2020. For our fact-checking practices, the thematic analysis derived three major themes in our result, which include social media users as an information source. That means many or majority of the users are actually considering social media as their source of information, including news. Second is information verification is that we find out that there are users actually have undergoing the verification process of the information they've encountered in social media, especially critical information. Um, Including news. And third is our sharing of information. That means we also investigated when people want to share the information they've encountered and when they will decide not to share the information itself. And for verification practices, there's an interesting pattern that we've identified. For instance, that users are actually performing cross-checking with the information, particularly on Google. Second is they also check, some has also check the source credibility of the information they've encountered, and they also check for comments to determine whether an information is true or not. And they also validate information through others. That means when they verify information they've encountered in social media by asking others. And third is shared by many. They believe that it is considered verified if the information they've encountered are also shared by people around them, or if their friends or known personally connected to them are also sharing the same information. And third is shared to verified. That means some of the uh, social media users are actually verifying the information by sharing it to others. It must be noted that there are verification practices that are not recommended in practice. For instance, sharing to verify the information tends to spread false information if the information is not actually true. In general, the practices of verification also do not warrant that the post be verified. Personal verification practices are also subject to individual beliefs and preferences. However, those who are skeptical of the information they encountered in social media also shared that it will take time for them to verify the information sometimes. In terms of awareness to fact-checking program, 62% of the respondents answered yes to the question, are you aware of Raptor and Verifies as fact-checking program of Facebook? However, when we ask if they have experience using the program, only 46% confirm that they do. That means only 62% confirm that they are aware of the fact-checking program, and only 46% have experience using it. Moreover, specific to Raptor and Verifies as fact-checking programs, only 22% answered when asked the question, have you used Raptor or Verifies to fact-check for facts? After checking their awareness, those who have experience using or encountered the fact-checking programs, we use the survey to determine if it's easy to use or the perceived ease of use concept. And actually, majority of them, or 79%, agree or strongly agree that it's easy to use. And one notable comment is that it's very helpful to have picture like this one so that they can easily confirm, particularly if the image is um, factual or not, or in this example, for instance, is misleading. In perceived usefulness, we obtain a much lower, a little lower compared to the ease of use, because only 61% perceive that it's useful. And one particular reason for this one is that some who want to know about information encountered in social media is not actually available in the fact checking services. And it's not responsive to the need of the information to verify it. So they need to search or double check to other website again, because it's not available to the fact checking program. In addition, some also shared that it might be helpful if there is a short video of the fact check issue following the patterns of claim, rating, facts as additional information to the images posted. They said that sometimes short videos are convenient than reading long text. For perceived trust, only 25% agreed about perceived trust in Rappler and verifiers. That means 25% answered having trust on the fact check service. While on the mainstream media, more than 40% trust on the mainstream media, including the Fact Check Philippines as fact checking service. Only ABS-CBN got lowest rank in terms of trust, which is 29%. Overall, in terms of perceived trust, actually 44% had a neutral stand in terms of the fact checking and the mainstream media, and only 40% uh, overall decided to trust, and actually only 16% trust on the overall result in terms of fact checking and those on mainstream media. For social media users, even if social media users have verification practices to determine the truthfulness of the information posted in social media, they've also shared that it is difficult to discern immediately the truthfulness of the post. This is because even if you search on using Google search engine, it is not yet sure if the sources of your verification is also truthful, so they have to double check with it. Second is continued use of social media to provide up-to-date information. That means social media users consider social media as one of the sources of information or up-to-date information including news. And lastly, we advocate that there is a need for information literacy in identification of factual information posted in social media. That's a need to educate, especially the youth, on what type of information or how to verify properly the information they've encountered in social media rather than believing all information that was posted or shared by the majority. And to summarize our findings, we have social media users fact-checking practices includes cross-checking with other sources, reading comments, sharing it, and verifying source credibility among others. Second is fact-checking services posts and websites are perceived to be useful by social media users. Third is although more than 50% are aware of the presence of fact-checking programs, less than 50% of those who are aware are actually using it. And fourth is that fact checking of posts and websites are considered easy to use and navigate as perceived by the users. And lastly, social media users are ambivalent in terms of trust to fact checking services provided by Rappler and Verifies, and even mainstream media fact checking posts. Although the study presents a glimpse of the perceptions of social media users in Mindanao, it is apparent that fact-checking service or the process of fact-checking among social media users need to be promoted for awareness and social media responsible consumption of information. And that would be all. Thank you for your attention.